My name is Grace. I'm 22 years old. 2 weeks ago, I collapsed on stage in front of 3,000 people. On the exact day I was supposed to give the valedictorian speech. That morning, a doctor looked at my scans and said the words that rewired my entire life. You have a brain tumor. Not maybe, not. We'll monitor it. A tumor. And they needed to operate immediately. They called my parents. No one answered. Not my mum, not my dad, not my sister. 3 days later, when I finally woke up surrounded by 4 tubes, machines, and that steady beeping that makes you realize you're alive only because technology is allowing it. The first thing I saw wasn't my family's worried faces, it wasn't relief, it wasn't love, it was Instagram, a photo of my entire family smiling in front of the Eiffel Tower, my sister holding the phone like she was filming a commercial, my mum glowing like she had no responsibilities, my dad giving a cheerful thumbs up, and the caption said, "Family trip in Paris. Finally, no stress, no drama." I didn't comment, I didn't call, I didn't even cry. I just stared at it until my hands went cold, because in that moment, I understood what I'd been trying not to admit for years to them. I was the stress, I was the drama, I was the responsibility. They were happy to escape, and I stayed silent until my phone, filled with 65 missed calls from my dad and one text that didn't ask if I was alive. It said, "We need you. Answer immediately." That's when I realized they weren't calling because they missed me. They were calling because they needed something else but to understand why that felt like a second surgery without anesthesia. I need to take you back. For weeks before GRADON, for weeks before graduation, I was standing in my childhood kitchen watching my mum flip through a stack of wedding magazines. Not for me, for Meredith. My older sister had just gotten engaged, and overnight our house turned into her personal wedding headquarters. My mum didn't even look up when she spoke. "Grace, can you pick up the napkin samples from the printer tomorrow?" I blinked. "Mum, I have finals." "You'll manage," she said, already turning the page. "You always do." That sentence was basically my name in our family. You'll manage, because I always had. For 4 years I worked 25 hours a week at a coffee shop, kept a 4.0 GPA, and covered my tuition with scholarships and tips. Meanwhile, my parents funded Meredith's education like it was automatic every semester. Number debate, no pressure. I tried to bring up graduation. "Mum, I wanted to talk about the ceremony. I need something to wear. Maybe we can go shopping this weekend." She looked up for half a second, but her eyes were already returning to the magazines. "Sweetie, you're so good at finding deals online. You'll figure it out." Then she added, like it was obvious, "I need to focus on your sister's engagement party. It's in 2 weeks." I stood there, swallowing what I wanted to say, because the truth was simple and embarrassing. Wasn't asking for a designer dress. I was asking for a mother who acted like my graduation mattered. Independent meant forgettable that night. I was folding laundry in my old room when I heard my mom on the phone with her friend Linda. "Oh, the graduation. Yes, she's valedictorian. Can you believe it?" My heart lifted for 1 second. Then she laughed. "But honestly, the timing is terrible. Meredith's engagement party is that same week, so that takes priority." Then she said the word that cut deeper than she knew. "Grace understands." She's always been so independent. Independent, that's what they called me when they meant. We don't have to show up for you. The only one who asked how I was that night I called the only person who ever asked the question my family never did. How are you, really? My grandfather, Howard, answered on the second ring. Gracie, he said warmly, I was just thinking about you. Something in my chest loosened. He asked about finals, my thesis, the speech, and for 20 minutes I talked like a normal daughter with a normal family member about my fear of standing in front of thousands of people, about rewriting the speech 6 times, about trying to sound confident when I didn't feel confident. When I finished, he said, Do you have your dress yet? Shoes? Do you need anything? My throat tightened. I'm fine, Grandpa. He went quiet, the kind of quiet that means he didn't believe me. Then he said softly, Your grandmother would be proud of you. She always said you had her spirit. I never met my grandmother, Eleanor. She died before I was born. But I'd seen photos. Everyone said I looked exactly like her, same dark hair, same stubborn chin. I'll be there, Grandpa promised. Front row. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Then he said something that stayed in my head like a heartbeat. And I have something for you. A gift. Your grandmother wanted you to have it when you graduated. Before I could ask what it was, Meredith burst into my room without knocking, complaining about dry shampoo like the world revolved around her hair. Grandpa heard it. He didn't say anything, but his silence said plenty. 1 week before Giaraduin, by the final week, I was surviving on caffeine for hours of sleep and pure stubbornness. Finals were done. My thesis was submitted. I'd been pulling double shifts because rent was due, and I refused to ask my parents for help, because, if they helped once, they'd weaponize it forever. My head had been pounding for 3 days straight, but I kept telling myself it was stressed. Then my mum called while I was closing the coffee shop. Grace, I need you home this weekend. Meredith's engagement party is Saturday. I need help. Mum, I'm working. Call in sick, she said immediately. Meredith needs you. That's when the question rose in me like fire. What about what I need? But I didn't say it. I said, fine. After I hung up, the room tilted. I gripped the counter. My coworker asked, You okay? Yeah, I lied. Just tired. That night, I had a nosebleed that wouldn't stop for 15 minutes. I told myself it was the dry air. I told myself it was nothing. The engagement party was perfect. White lights, champagne, a 3-tier cake that probably cost more than my rent, 40 guests laughing and celebrating. My sister's future. No one asked about mine. I carried trays, refilled glasses, arranged flowers, smiled through pain. My head felt like it was being squeezed from the inside. Meredith finally pulled me into the spotlight. Everyone, this is my little sister, she announced. Grace does everything around here. Polite applause. A few smiles. Then she leaned in, loud enough for people to hear. She's going to be a teacher. Can you imagine? Wiping noses for a living. People laughed, light, casual, dismissive laughter. I kept smiling. My face hurt. Oh, and she's graduating next week. Meredith added, like it was a fun fact. Vow, something. What's it called again? Valedictorian, I said quietly. Right, she said, waving it off. She's always been the smart one. But smart doesn't buy Louis Vuitton, does it? More laughter. I stepped into the kitchen to breathe. That's where my mum delivered the final blow. Grace, she said, glowing with pride, we're going to Paris, the whole family. Tyler's treating us to celebrate the engagement. My hands went still. When I asked, next weekend, she said. We fly Friday night. Friday night, my graduation was Saturday morning. I turned toward her slowly. Mum, my graduation is Saturday. She waved her hand like it was a scheduling inconvenience. I know, sweetie, but the flights were booked when we realized Tyler got such a good deal. You're missing my graduation for a vacation, I said, not even raising my voice. Don't say it like that, she frowned. It's for your sister. I'm valedictorian, I said. I'm giving a speech, and you'll be wonderful, she replied. You don't need us there. You've always been so self-sufficient. Then my dad appeared and confirmed it. Grace, he said, eyes avoiding mine, your sister needs family support. She's going through a big life change. The room tilted. I grabbed the counter. I didn't fight. I didn't beg. I just left. And in my car, I cried until I couldn't breathe. Graduation, MRO and ARG the morning of graduation. I woke up with a headache so severe it felt unreal. Then my phone buzzed. A text from my mum, just landed in Paris. Have a great graduation, sweetie. So proud of you. Attached, a selfie at the airport. My entire family smiling like my pain didn't exist. Rachel picked me up and stared at me. Grace, you look grey. Like actually grey. I'm nervous. I said, that's not nerves, she replied. She forced me to eat part of a granola bar. Campus was full of families. I tried not to look. Then I saw Grandpa Howard in the front row waiting. Seated, holding that manila envelope, I waved. For the first time in days, I felt like I could breathe. A stage manager approached. You're up in 10 minutes. 10 minutes, I thought. Just stay standing. That's all you have to do. My name was called. Applause roared. I walked to the podium. I found Grandpa's face in the crowd. Rachel filming beside him. 2 empty seats. Reserved for family. No one took them. I began my speech. Then, the world tilted, my vision narrowed. Pain exploded behind my eyes. The microphone slipped. I saw Grandpa's confusion turn into horror. Rachel standing up, and then dash nothing. The cause they ignored didn't. Witness what happened next. Rachel told me later. Doctors found the tumor. They needed surgery immediately. They called my parents. Voicemail. Again. Grandpa. Finally reached my dad at the airport. Grace has a brain tumor. Surgery in 40 minutes. My dad said calmly, we're about to take off. Can you handle it? Grandpa's voice turned to stone. Your daughter is about to have brain surgery, and you're asking me to handle it. My dad said, we can't do anything from here. Grandpa warned him, if you get on that plane, don't call me again. They boarded anyway.